Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to be a recent finds video where I'm just going to kind of go through and share with you some stuff I've picked up, new additions to the collection, and um, and yeah, definitely kind of an exciting one for me. Not because there's some big grail or anything in here, but I kind of showed you. I guess overall, it's been kind of a really good musical month or so. That might be the best way to put it between concerts and pickups and things of that nature. And on the pickup side, one of the things that makes it kind of a great musical month is you guys know that you've heard me talk about this in many videos before. When I'm out and about digging, I'm always looking for stuff to flip to. That's kind of just a very important way that I've gone about funding being able to purchase new stuff. And I showed you about a month or so ago that I picked up a few things, including that Dave Matthews Band, These Crowded Streets, for only $19. And, it just, I really wanted to keep it because I sold my mint copy about 2 or 3 years ago, but it just wasn't quite in acceptable condition for me. So I went ahead and sold it and made a very, very good profit off of it, as well as a couple other things that I flipped. So it was exciting to me to kind of sit down and figure it out with everything I'm about to show you. Net out of my pocket, I think I spent about $55 on everything I'm about to show you that came out of my pocket to get to this stack of records. So that always excites me a lot because I think I'm just like a lot of you. It's like I don't have the money just to be going out and just doing everything I want and getting everything I want whenever I want. That would be so wonderful. But yeah, so that's one of the things that's kind of made it a good musical month is keeping the expenses down. And the second thing too was the fact that I got to see my favorite band, Godsmack, which you guys always tell by my avatar. I got to see them 3 times in the past month and a half or so, which was freaking awesome. I drove to see them once, like whatever it was, 6 weeks ago or whatever it was. And then about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I saw them, as I mentioned in my previous video, I saw them on a Saturday night in Kansas City. Then I drove and saw them the very next night, Sunday night, in St. Louis. So one of the things that really made it cool was not only seeing them 3 times, but after seeing them the first 2 times, and the traveling and everything, I thought, well, the show that was in St. Louis, it had all seating from front to back. So I was kind of like, well, I'm not going to purchase a seat to get down. Again, I don't have all the money in the world. So I'm just going to buy a nosebleed seat. $34, no big deal. It's not sold out anyway, so the upper seats aren't all, scrunched. So I was like, well, screw it. At least I'm seeing them a third time, and we'll just watch it from the nosebleeds. So I'm about 5 or 6 seats from the very top, and I'm just sitting there. And right after the first band finished, Monster Truck, this guy comes up and goes, "Are you here by yourself?" And I was like, "Yeah." His name was Mike, and he goes, "Well, there were 4 of us that were supposed to come to the show tonight, and one person couldn't make it, and so I had this extra ticket. I just didn't want it to go to waste. So we're down on the floor if you want to come down there. And again, all the floor is all seats. There's no standing room or GA." I'm like, well, yeah, cool. Be on the floor. That's awesome. So we go down there and we kind of, we're walking down, we're kind of talking, and we get to the floor. I get the wristband, and we're, at the very back behind the sound booth. And so we started walking forward, and we're still talking. I notice we're still walking and still walking. Next thing you know, I'm realizing this seat is on the front freaking row, like, right up against the rail. Like I'm sitting there watching the show, sometimes leaning over the rail and having to move my hands so the hailstorm's bodyguard could walk by. And I was just like, holy cow, who, just like one of those, a way to finish off a three concerts of seeing your favorite band, and the last one, you go from a nosebleed seat to freaking front row. It was an absolute amazing show. It's Mike, guys, really cool guy. And when Hailstorm was switching over and Godsmack was coming on, we're sitting there talking during the intermission and kind of discovered that we're both really into guns and shooting. And we started talking about stuff we own and different places we've been shooting it. And it was just like, what a freaking great night. So yeah, that was awesome. So like I said, between good flips, great concerts, it's been an awesome musical month or so. But yeah, let me kind of dive in again and show you the stuff that's come in and some really great additions to the collection. We'll start off here with Jason Isbell, artist that's been around for a while, but someone that I'm kind of new to. I know Billy Hurst loves him, and he's told me a bit about him, and he knows him very well. But it's just not an artist I paid much attention to until I was in a record store called the Music Record Shop, and this stuff is playing in the background. I have no idea who it is. Hey, what's that album? Who is that? Oh, it's Jason Isbell. I was like, oh, I've never heard of that. That's kind of good. And then I'm in another record shop called Trusty Chords. Well, that's pretty good, man. Who is that? Jason Isbell. I'm like, okay, what the heck? And both times it was this album they were playing. So I was like, I guess I probably need to get that if I'm eardropping it everywhere and just like gravitating to it. But yeah, fantastic album. I don't know if I would say it's like modern day country, but it's almost kind of like the modern country folkish type of, however you want to label it. But great album. I mean, it really is. I've only had a chance to really sit and listen to it from front to back once, so I need to dive through it a little bit more. But I just remember side three on was just like freaking actually, the last song on side 2 and side 3 on was just killer, and I haven't even processed exactly what the names of those songs are yet. So I still have a little taking in to do with that album, but I just know I love it when I hear it. Next, just another good one. It's about time they actually got a reissue on this, which is REM Monster. I think they did a deluxe edition and then just kind of this regular pressing. But yeah, What's the Frequency, Kenneth, a couple other really nice things on here, but just kind of about time they got that one reissued, which is nice. This one here, May Blitz. It's just kind of some, some good psychedelic stuff. I don't remember the year. Was it 1970? Don't quote me. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, May Blitz, some good psychedelic stuff. I accidentally stumbled across the song, which happened to be my favorite song on this album, which is Smoking the Day Away. And if you guys happen to recall, in my 2018 Music Room tour, this was a song that was playing in the background. So I've had a few people ask me about that. And the song is Smoking the Day Away, and the band is May Blitz. But just really, really good psychedelic stuff. And if you listen to that song or curious about Smoking the Day Away, I kind of describe it as Deep Purple going psychedelic is kind of the feel that you'll get from that. The next one here is one that I was turned on to by, our boy here in the VC, Derek Vaughn. Been around the VC for quite some time. And one of the things that he's done over the years is he's introduced me to a lot of music. I mean, stuff that I'm pretty sure I would never have heard of or even stumbled across at any point in my life. And that's the one thing, and this is, the Silver Apples. I think it's from 1968, I believe. But that's the one thing that's so good about Derek's channel is, if you want to discover the off the beaten path, just experimental, just different types of music that you honestly probably would never stumble across anyplace else. He probably has about 5,000 albums in his collection that would fit that exact description. Again, I just discovered so much stuff from him, and for me, the Silver Apples is definitely one of them. Again, 1968-ish. It's kind of an early electronic, psychedelic, experimental type of thing. But yeah, he just was talking about it one day, and I decided to just give it a listen, and I loved it. And thank goodness they did a reissue, because like the originals of those are like $100 or whatever, but you get a nice reissue for $20. So good addition there. And again, Derek, thanks for introducing me to more new music. Next we have T-Rex. Just kind of one I've been needing to get for quite some time, The Slider. Not my favorite album by him, but at the same time, this is one where I kind of like the feel of it. Very simple, it's not overly produced or anything. It just honestly sounds like kind of 3 people jamming in their bedroom is kind of like the sound/feel that I get from it, but nice album. Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies. As you can see, that's on the Music on Vinyl pressing. Another classic album. Favorite song off here is probably Nutshell. It's always been one of my favorite Alice in Chains songs. And I've just been kind of waiting a while to get this on the Music on Vinyl pressing. So very cool stuff there. And then you have System of a Down. These reissues have been out for quite some time, but just hadn't gotten around to getting one. But yeah, again, great fun album. Definitely another experimental band that they do things their way. It's not really a pattern to what they do. Favorite song off of this is definitely Sugar. That song cracks me up, but great song, great band. Next we have Magic Sam, blues band, West Side Soul. Fantastic blues artist, and you guys have heard me rant and rave about him a number of times throughout the past, few years, I guess. But again, not only just great blues music, but the thing that makes Magic Sam so special to me in the blues world is that, you have your B.B. Kings, you have your Willie Dixons, you have your Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Son House, and so forth. And all of those are just legendary blues artists. I mean, when they sing, when they play, just the depth, the soul, the hurt, just the way you feel their voices is magical. Same thing with Magic Sam, but the one thing that makes him a little bit different is he didn't just come into it from the blues perspective. Like, actually early on, he was being pushed towards the R&B side of things. So he has a voice that can cross over the harshness of the blues and the beauty of the R&B a little better than most blues artists. And to me, it brings a slight beauty to what he does that makes him a little bit different than other blues artists. But yeah, Magic Sam is just freaking awesome. And then they finally got around to doing a reissue, at least on the Relayer label there, of Skid Row. I mean, I do have an original pressing of this, but again, this reissue is long overdue. And of course, everybody knows Skid Row in this album. I mean, one of the albums that came out during the MTV days, and whether it's I Remember You or 18 in Life, videos have just pounded. Songs in general got pounded in your head. Youth Gone Wild, the whole nine. And again, one of the things that I give the most props to this album is not just how big it was then, and even as, I guess you can almost say, as cliche as some of the songs were. In my book, the guitar solo in I Remember You is still one of my top 5 guitar solos of all time. And not because it's so complex and so, technical and all of that, but that song, that guitar solo grasps and pulls out the essence and spirit of that song, as well as I think almost any guitar solo has within a song. And not exactly some of the language most people would use for Skid Row, but screw it, I do. I like what I like and feel what I feel. I don't care what name's on the label, so that's the way it goes. Moving right along, a couple of really nice Accept additions to my Accept collection. Again, a band I think sometimes didn't quite get its due, but this is Accept Breaker. Yeah, I've stumbled across a bunch of these copies over the years, but never one that's just kind of this clean from top to bottom. But early Accept stuff with Udo, just really, really great stuff. Favorite song off of here is definitely Down and Out. So if you get a chance to kind of check that out, make sure you listen to it. Because, that song and one other track on here, you can listen to it sometimes, and if someone kind of told you this was a Judas Priest song, you could fall for it. Especially if you really, really, really didn't know Judas Priest. Not the whole album now, but I mean, there are just a couple tracks on here that just really, really have that feeling. I think Down and Out is definitely one that really captures it. So, great track, awesome cover. Little self-titled there. Same thing, to find one in great condition like this is fantastic. No gigantic standout tracks on this, just kind of a good album from start to finish. Good early Accept. Along with Russian Roulette. So again, three great additions to the Accept collection. Next, we're going to go with another one I oftentimes have a hard time finding a clean copy of. Again, you see Slade all over the place, but it's always just tons of ring wear, and at least in my experience. So again, finding a great copy here. You know, Mama, We're All Crazy Now, Come On, Feel the Noise, all that great stuff is on here. So beautiful copy of that. And then getting into some kind of 80s hair. Maybe one of the not as popular bands, but definitely a good one, especially considering all-female band where you have Rock Goddess, where you had the Turner Sisters. But yeah, again, just kind of some good fun, what was going on in that early 80s kind of hair band stuff. Favorite song off of this, if I'm going to recommend check one out, it'd be Satisfied Then Crucified. That would be the song I would recommend to check out to get a feel for what these ladies do. And then this was, I think, their second release. Again, I'd heard that album before, but I have not heard this one and actually have not listened to it yet. So I can't really comment that much on this one, but this is Hell Hath No Fury. And I'm sure if it's anything like their first album, I'll definitely enjoy it as well, but I have to get back to you after I actually give that a full spin. Great addition to my girl, Tina Turner. Cyndi Lauper, although Tina's my girl too. This is Cyndi Lauper, A Night to Remember. Not a Cyndi album that I stumble across too often, but you know, this is not one of those albums of her stuff that you're gonna write home about. You know, it's not, there's no She's So Unusual or anywhere near that, but definitely some great tracks on here. You know, like I Drove All Night, which is a song that most people probably know from Celine Dion or her rendition, and then also Heading West might be my favorite track off of this. And again, not because it's such a fantastic song, it's a good song, but it's one of those songs that really brings out what I find, it really brings out the beautiful thing that I find in Cyndi Lauper's voice. And I love listening to that song just because of that, if nothing else. But great addition to the Cyndi collection of finding that. Rainbow, Final Vinyl. Again, this is another one of those ones where I just never seem to find in good condition. Great live album, you know, a lot of the different Rainbow stuff, you know, some Dio stuff on here and some of the other lead singers they had. My favorite track off of this one's probably Since You've Been Gone. I mean, that's just, I think, the better performance on here. But yeah, really, really good stuff. I actually recently watched this really good special. I forgot the name of it, but it was about Blackmore, Richie Blackmore. And it was kind of cool because it really clarified a bunch of things I didn't understand about, you know, just like the Rainbow and the Deep Purple and when what started and leaving here, then coming back. So it was cool to finally get a very clear picture of that. And, you know, interviews with Richie and kind of everything told from his perspective. And one thing I did find interesting about it is Richie was a pain in the ass. I mean, just when you think about the bands he jumped from and why that stuff was happening, it actually makes more sense now after watching his special from his point of view, because, God, he seemed like he'd be the biggest pain in the ass to work with. But anyway, moving along. Ohio Players, Graduation. I had never heard of this album before. Again, just stumbled across it the other day. So, again, just another nice funk record with the Ohio Players with a half-naked girl on the cover, which was their formula. They never broke. So, yeah, no, like, crazy write home about tracks, but it's just Ohio Players doing what they do, and, you know, definitely a decent album. Next, we're going to go with a little disco. I wonder how many, I don't know if I've seen a lot of people necessarily talk about, you know, who the disco lovers are here in the VC, but I'm certainly, I think disco was just freaking awesome, so I don't care. So the Tramps, the Best of the Tramps, is definitely a great addition to my disco collection. Actually, this was sealed when I got it. It was only $3 too, which is really nice. But, you know, Of course, with the best of, you're going to have the legendary 10-minute track, Disco Inferno, which is freaking awesome. But yeah, overall, great disco record. Friend actually gave me this one the other day, the Alan Parsons Project, Pyramid. It's kind of some more of Alan doing their prog stuff. So I've only listened to that kind of one time through, so I haven't like really taken it in, but I definitely liked it. Tommy James and the Shondells, Crimson and Clover. And again, you guys know this album very well, including the legendary song Crimson and Clover off of that, which is beautiful. And again, another just nice copy in great condition. And the last two, I've had this on CD for quite some time, but finally found a vinyl at a very good price. And not only that, gold stamp promo. But this is Ecstasy, Skylarking. Another classic 80s album. And last but not least, on the vinyl side, or 12-inch, Big Joe Turner, Rock This Joint. Very, very great legendary blues singer. I think he was born in 1911 and lived into like the mid-80s, so you know, definitely brought that old school blues from way back in the day. Yeah, biggest song most people probably know off of here is Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Another one of those great songs that really kind of shows the connection between, well, how rock and roll came from blues. And the last things I'll show here really quick, Information Society. Just a nice 12-inch What's on Your Mind. And again, talk about Good Music Month. I was at a record show yesterday. I was gonna buy this 45 and two others from a guy, and I was saying, well, how much are they? Expecting they be $1 a piece. And he's like, man, I just don't want to take any of this stuff home. If you give me $3, I'll give you all the 45s here. And literally gave me like 150 45s for $3. And I was like, okay. A lot of kind of 80s stuff and doubles of things I already had, but still. And as I said, it's been a good music month. CD-wise, picked up a little Uriah Heep, kind of, again, working towards completing that collection with Return to Fantasy. A little more Heap there. I'm scared I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to kind of go through them really quick. So, yes, some more great additions to the Uriah Heep collection, as well as Jeff Beck. So there you go. Like I said, not a bad haul when you think about all of that, plus some other stuff for about a net cost of $55. It was a very, very good haul for the month. So as always, let me know what you think, VC, and I will talk to you soon. All right, thanks, guys.